Everybody, there we have it, everybody. The first game of today. It's only 5.5 hours delay here at the WCA Chinese qualifier. Number 1, it is the grand final. We will determine the third player for the grand final in December. We have Lin, we have La Liadin, thanks to the APAC qualifier. And now we're gonna decide who's gonna be the first Chinese player. It's not gonna be Infi, it's not gonna be TH, it's not gonna be Yumiko or Fly. It's either 120, the best undead in the world, spawning as the blue undead and at the right side, or ZDR, the surprise of this qualifier so far.
Yeah, man, that's a big storyline this year. The new kids on the block are at it, and they're tearing up some ass. Especially Infi has been the victim of this before, and now we have Undead versus Orc. It seemed like this is one of the strengths of 120. Well, he doesn't seem to have many weaknesses, but when he can rely on his mic show, that's where he shines the most. And against Orc, that's certainly what you have to do. ZDR, I might be underestimating him again. I think he is the underdog. Of course, the history of Warcraft kind of leans more towards the Orcs than towards the Undeads, but my gut feeling is that the young one, 120, is going to have the upper hand. But yeah, this is going to be a long series, and ZDR, this is finally gonna be his time to stop me from underestimating him. We're gonna find out. Echo's, of course, gonna be lots of claws for the Blade Master. Is already getting the shop, the merchant secured.
Indeed, he goes for the circlet right away, and a big chunk of experience. He will be level 2 afterwards. On the other side, of course, 120, going with his best friend, the Death Knight, Fiend build order, the usual stuff. Blade Master's taking a lot of time, though, to get the Mauler down. Do you think this creeping route is efficient for him? Or Watch Awards? I think it definitely is.
Before I continue on here, let me say this so I don't forget. Thank you very much to Mr. Where was it? God damn it, I missed the sub here. Kabarak or something like that. Yeah, Kabarak. Thank you very much for subbing. Well, I don't think this is really slow by the Orc. Considering he only had 1 grunt to creep, this is pretty damn fast. Now he of course has a second. He's level 2, and that's really when you feel comfortable. You have the boots, you have the first circlet. Ideally you have more. He only has the ring though. But yeah, you're level 2, you have the boots. Ideally you would like the undead to not be level 2, but 120 is there right now, and now he tries to harass. He tries to put out as much damage as he can, but we have seen before by 120 using his skeletons to block better than any other, and you can lose grunts to this, so that's why you see ZDR being so careful here.
Indeed. So, interesting creep route by 120 as well, using the coil and gets the experience before the Blade Master does. But now 3 grunts are coming in, and of course the Fiends have to be careful. He can't fight on Blight, or at least he can try to fight on Blight here. But of course ZDR does not want to do this, because you never fight into an undead base. We see the tech by both players actually. ZDR slightly ahead, if I saw that correctly. Yes, he is, but that's due to the fact that 120 is going for the Fiend build order, needs a graveyard that's always a little more expensive than the Orc is doing.
Yeah, it's very normal. He's ahead a bit here. Oh, devastating lightning shield, getting rid of it quickly though. And I feel like, again, this is the new Orc players. This is the unconfident Orc players. I think someone like Fly would have sent in the grunts from the north to cut off the Fiends from their main and would have attacked with the Blade Master. But he, you know, he's more careful. He's like, god damn it, he's pretty good. I really don't want to lose grunts. I guess I'm gonna give those creep spots to him. So, but at the same time, 120 is being careful himself. He doesn't want to overextend, especially considering he only has 3 Fiends. 4 Fiends, 5 Fiends, that's when you start feeling confident against the grunts with the piercing damage. Only 3 is not that great, but yeah, now he has more, now he has 5. It seems like now he's finally gonna get the Renegade, but the Blade Master might be coming in just in time.
Yeah, here he comes out of the shadows most likely. Great timing, but reveal is being used, and the Blade Master did not get it, but he got the Parrot of Vitality, so he stole the item, and now maybe time to get some of the remaining units here. But yeah, there is level 3 for him, out leveling the undead. Nice coil, saving that Fiend. Is there another? Yeah, there is 2 more Windwalks, so this Fiend might die. But there's Blight now.
Instant tier 3, by the way, by the undead. Tier 3 and Lich, the Slaughterhouse is coming delayed. This means his tier 2 presence on the map is going to be weaker because statues are very, very strong. But he sacrifices his tier 2 strength for a faster tier 3. And of course, we all know, with destroyers, with triple hero, with the orb, that's when the undead is really, really strong.
Indeed, and I just got told by the Chinese chat that this is not a best of 5, but a best of 3. So the first player who wins 2 maps will qualify.
It's kind of crazy though, right?
For the main event in China. So
a grand final of a qualifier, like all or nothing, and then you make it a best of 3.
I don't question anything anymore today.
Maybe they changed it last minute because the tournament's running late.
Yeah, probably. So since we are on Echo Alts here, shop control is of course very important, but also this nice little creep by ZDR, stealing the big consumable item, the only consumable item that is here on the map, and he gets rewarded with a big healing. This will of course be nice later against the focus of the undead. Hex on a Fiend here, interestingly.
Right, yeah, by the way, too much damage from creeping. This is a big mistake from ZDR. Usually he should be able to take that fight with a level advantage, but because the SH is low, he has to retreat, and he still, despite the speed scroll, loses the grunt. First big mistake, and honestly, that looked like negligence. Something like that really shouldn't happen.
Yeah, maybe this is him being nervous here. The 120 is getting the burrow upgrade. The first statue is coming. Tier 3 almost done. On the other side, we see Tier 3 as well. Pretty on par with 120's attack here. We don't see a War Mill just yet. That's quite interesting that he doesn't go for Kodo Beasts later, or they are very delayed at least. Blade Master is exposing himself, there's another Windwalk, and now he backs off. Lich, of course, with Frost Armor first, no Nova, and no level 2 Coil at the moment. Shadowhunter is coming back at it again, Ensnare and crit on the Fiend, but he burrows it, Town Portal being used, unburrow, but the critical strike gets the Fiend in the end.
Lucky break here for ZDR, securing that Fiend kill and getting the TP. Really confident positioning there from 120. Going out to the opponent's side of the map, when he's really close to tier 3, he wouldn't have had to wait for the orb for his tier 3 upgrades for long. He could have gone to the right side where he is right now. He could have secured his level 3 right here and not risk a creep jag. He knows when he gets jacked, he has to TP. He can't really fight that anymore with level 3 blade, with the Ensnare, with everything. But he seems to be happy about this. Alright, I lose the TP, but if you don't show up, then I steal creeps from you. So I'm fine with this. I lose a TP, maybe I lose a Fiend, but yeah, whatever, I'm good enough. Now I'm tier 3, now I get the orb, now I get the Destroyer upgrade. So starting this series, it seems to me that so far 120 has the bigger balls.
Indeed, I see it the same way. Shadowhunter is once again tanking a lot of damage, getting bashed here. He has to be careful. Another bash! And
oh no!
He survives by using a heal wave. Oh my god, that would have been disastrous for the Orc. In the meantime, the Blade Master is wrecking a ghoul here in the middle of the base, but of course it can easily be replenished. We see the Pit Lord, and in the battles against Fly, 120 had a record of 100% win rate if he played the Pit Lord and not the Dark Ranger.
The SH is low, there is Coil Nova, but there is also the Spirit Link, so he's probably not going to die from this, and yeah, he doesn't invest the mana.
So the Pit Lord arrives at the fray. There's still a lot of mana on the Lich here. He can throw out 3 Novas if he wants to. On the mana on the Death Knight is also super duper great. This is looking good for 120.
But there is no TP. If the DK gets focused, this might be dangerous. He's going to lose one statue here in the back to the Blade Master. Doesn't seem to be morphing it or anything.
There is the morph, is the coil connecting? Yes, it is. No more mana on the Blade Master. Now he gets the focus. Oh my god, there is only the big healing potion and of course the heal wave. The Shadowhunter is still exposed. Howl of Terror being used, but does not apply. Okay, it does apply on the Blade Master. I didn't saw the animation here. Raider is going down, of course, with the help of the Orb of Corruption. This is kind of child's play for 120 at the moment, but he's getting rid of more and more fiends. So Lich with Frost Armor on himself.
Now he's trying to go for the walkers. Once they're gone, there's no more Spirit Link damage mitigation, and then he can really focus on the heroes. Going for the Raiders for now, though, and the Blade Master has free reign. He has seen the potion of healing, and he doesn't want to invest the damage. Now he's going to Dust being used, losing more and more fiends! Nova kills the Blade! He surprises him with a burst. The heal potion hasn't been used. Huge mistake again from ZDR, and 120 man with the confidence, with a killer instinct, might be winning a game here that he's not supposed to win. But now the Lich also in a lot of trouble. How many coils do we have remaining? Not just yet, but the SH also in trouble. Orbs coming from around the forest, and he dies. Level 2, level up for the Pit Lord, and that's it. Holy bejesus. A game, I think, very telling of the mental states of these players. 120 heading into this fight, actually kind of dangerous, without a TP, without a mana potion, dancing with death there on his Lich, but the Coil Nova, the clutch usage of the nuke, secures him the win.
He just felt so comfortable with his high mana heroes. Everything was pretty healed up, everything was full on mana, and he knew, okay, I got Coil Nova, his Shadow Hunter is low, he has the big healing potion on the Blade Master, but nuking the Blade Master, I don't know if he wanted to trigger the big healing to just get rid of it, or if he knew that he could kill it, but going for that was a very, very good move by 120, and of course without a Blade Master, what can you do against an undead army? Not too much. He had some headhunters for the damage, but they were not in the upgraded form that you get on tier 3, so...
I think that was also a cool mind game, because normally when you play and you see there's a greater healing on the hero, you don't invest the nuke. You get him lower and lower with the shots, and then he uses the healing. And then you get him low again, and then you try to burst him down. But kind of the reverse psychology is like, alright, you think I'm going to do this, so I'm going to do this instead. So that was one good move, but more importantly was the big mistake from ZDR. He didn't have Spirit Link on his Blade Master.
Alright.
He had a walker still alive. One walker got killed after like 10 or 15 seconds of the fight, maybe 20 seconds, but he still had one walker alive, and there was no Spirit Link on the Blade Master, and that's of course colossal mistake. You can't do that. By the way, these pushes have been working for 120 super easy against many orcs, because oftentimes there was only one single Spirit Walker. So you get rid of the one walker, which is of course easily done with Coil Nova, and then there's no more damage mitigation through Spirit Link. But this time ZDR had two walkers, so he knows what's coming. But that's not enough. Knowing what's coming isn't going to win you the game against 120. You also have to play it well.
Yeah, I think ZDR, this is not the ZDR that beat Infi. This is not the ZDR that beat Yumiko in the semi-final. This is the ZDR that we saw at WCA twice. This is the shaky one. This is the one who doesn't make the right calls. I mean, he played a little outside the box with the creep route at Echo Isles here at the 6 o'clock shot position very early on. That's not quite normal to do so. But apart from that, this has just been... I don't want to say a bad game, but it kind of was a bad game by ZDR.
Yeah, I think losing the end fight there is kind of understand. Well, isn't too much to blame, I guess. It's still kind of an even fight. You know, the guy with a better micro wins. Sometimes it's you, sometimes it's the other guy. If it's 120, oftentimes it's going to be the other guy. But in the mid game, he lost his Shadow Hunter to creeps. Almost, yeah, 5 HP or something. And shortly before that, he took on his SH too much damage, where he had to retreat from the creep camp with a speed scroll, still losing a grunt. And his Blade Master, by the way, was level 3 when he crept this. So the Blade Master, I think, should have been on the prowl looking for the undead, so if he sees him coming, he can retreat. And also because he was using his Blade Master there at the time, his level 3 SH was really late. I don't know if the SH was level 3 when the fight started. I kind of neglected to look at that. But yeah, a lot of little gears not working with each other perfectly there in that game, I feel.
Absolutely correct, Remo. We're going into map number 2. This is Turtle Rock, and pretty interesting. This is close position. Alright, everybody. WCA China, qualifier number 1. 1 out of 3. Only 3 Chinese players will attend the World Championship this year. It's gonna be 120 or ZDR. Looking great for the Undead, who has the 1-0 lead. Spawning once again in blue. in the upper right of Turtle Rock, his opponent ZDR, who made all the humans look so bad, but in the group stage it was a 2-0 for 120. Will he repeat this result? One map away from going to Yinchuan is 120, the most talented player in the world, Sad Moon. And if someone knows about this, it is of course the most decorated player in Warcraft 3 history. Will we see a comeback of ZDR? Or is it gonna be the clean 2-0 we'll see in like 15 to 20 minutes?
And of course, Turtle Rock, this close position is a specialty. We don't have this on any other map, not to this extent in all of Warcraft. The Orc, if he so decides, can choose to delay the second Ziggurat for a long time. But that stifles his own level progression. It seems like he doesn't want to do that. He's going to go for the focus creep by the looks of it. He's going to send out a grunt to scout for the undead, as he doesn't have to do that with his Blade Master. Good thing here about Turtle Rock, lots of little creep camps for the Blade Master to take, lots of possibilities to stack up on damage. But more importantly, you get level 3 here pretty consistently, because grunts or Blade Master can keep the undead busy while one of the other does some creeping for you. So leveling and developing the Blade Master is going to be a big deal. He finds the period of vitality decent, but of course the damage, that's what he's really looking for.
Indeed, Claws plus 9 would have been the dream, but he didn't get it. At least he has the Watch Award here, so he knows if there's something going on. Oh?
Tried to go for the grunts around there.
Okay.
It was a few weeks ago, exactly in the starting position, where he got the grunts around, but this time ZDR is paying attention. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of pressure right off the bat, and this is what you want as an Orc. The grunts are in between the Fiends and the Undead's main base, so that the grunts block the Fiends and the Blade Master kills them. How good is the block? That's the question.
Here he tries to go for it, but that was the last coil. Can he get the block out? No, he's just walking with them. Second attempt. This time it's working a little better, but 120 chooses another direction, sends the grunts into nowhere with that. And now he gets the damage out on the grunts on his own with the skeletons here, but of course they do feed the Blade Master as well. But look at the micro of 120, saving even the smallest skeletons and denying the one who is supposed to die. Great.
Yeah, pretty well done. I do have to say though, what's this from 120? These blocks are pretty damn bad. Like, I'm sorry, I don't want to flame him or anything, but you come across ladder players that block better than this.
ZDR, you mean?
Yeah, ZDR, I mean, excuse me. When you use 2 grunts to block and there's no Unholy Aura, you should be able to block way better than that. But, well, he didn't lose anything, grunts are still alive, he still has quite a few heal selves to heal up, he's gonna get his level 2 right now. And he also forced a lot of mana out of the undead. So it was decent for ZDR, but still, I have to say, he could be doing this better.
It's the Gloves of Haste for the Blade Master now, and he's getting up to level 2 for the so important critical strike. The undead on the other side, creeping the turtles here. Claws for the Death Knight. This is not that great, but for the Lich later on, this will be absolutely amazing. Let's compare the tax a bit. 1.5 for 120. Almost done for ZDR. He will have a fast attack. Will he be able to capitalize from that? That's going to be the big question. Windwalk on the Blade Master again. 120 trying to finish this Mauler here. Will do so with the skeletons. Nothing to steal with the Blade Master, but he's trying to go for the Fiends, but he's not getting the hurt one. So he has to retreat once again. The healing has been cancelled by 120.
Yeah, we could see the Fiends retreated very early and the Skeletons only finished the Ogre. This was thanks to one Skeleton being sent next to the shop to scout the Orc if he was to approach. And he was to approach, and that's why all the Fiends still alive didn't have to invest mana into Coil. So 120's early game micro seems to be on point. But of course, early game, that's where the Orc is the strongest. That's where a lot of the imbalance cries back then came from, because the grunts and the Blade Master right now, Blade Master's level 2, has boots, has circuit, and you have 4 grunts. There is
a gone Remo. I don't know what's up with that, but I'm gonna cover for him. We have tier 2 for the Orc. We don't have a Torrent Chieftain. Turtle Rock is a map where he can play a lot of TC, and we saw it. Storms can do great against Fiends. So that would have been an option, but he feels more safe with Hex, with Heal Wave. But both heroes are level 2. We have the Unholy Aura now for the Undead, which is so important to get away from the Blade Master to boost the movement of the Fiends. movement speed, obviously. So tier 2 for 120 as well. Slaughterhouse, Lich, tier 3, the obvious stuff. Shadowhunter is out. 4 grunts help him to creep up with the little turtles here while the Blade Master is taking care of the undead. But he's not level 3, so Windwalk is not taking that long. 120 uses Dust here to get him away, to get rid of a few hit points for the Orcish first hero.
A little interesting style variation from 120 here, by the way. He's going for only 4 fiends, not 5. So this way he has faster stat use, but of course less piercing damage. And again, look at the confidence from him, man. He's moving out onto his opponent's side of the map. There's no Lich here. There's no statue here. There's just 4 fiends and a DK. He is not afraid at all.
Nope. He knows exactly he can deal with everything that ZDR can throw at him at the moment. The Lich will be there in a second. He's continuing to creep. There's a Mantle of Intelligence, also a nice item for the Lich. So we are already at plus 14 damage if you count in the Orb of Corruption that the Lich will have, obviously.
I would have liked to see 120 go to the right to his shop right now. He should know that the SH is approaching his army. And here we go. Both second heroes on the field. Is 120 going to be feeling comfortable fighting this? First Hex coming onto the Fiend. But the Blade Master only being level 2, as you said before, is not that dangerous. But with Raider and with Spirit Link, this should be unwinnable for the Undead.
Yeah, he's going for the Town Portal. Will he get the Fiend again? He'd get it on Echo Owls, and he gets it now with the backstep damage. So a little more mana invested for securing that kill to get that so important experience. You want the Blade Master to be at level 4 for level 2 critical strike. You want the Shadowhunter to be level 3 for heal wave level 2, which is so much better than the first one. And now we're going onto the creeps on the back of the turtle who provide consumable items. And basically every item is great here. Oh, taking care about that grunt. What item does he get? Big mana potion for the Shadowhunter. Brilliant drop here for him.
Wow, yeah, that's so much healing. If you have the time to utilize the mana points, that's way more healing than a greater healing would give you. Nicely scouting here with the Raider. I like this move. He knows how aggressive 120 likes to be when he gets to tier 3. And of course he knows the timings. He knows there is tier 3 right now. But look at the Undead's inventory. I mean, the Lich is looking fine and dandy, but the DK has nothing. And doesn't have level 3 either. And most importantly, does not have a TP. But it seems like ZDR doesn't want to be aggressive, or does he? Seems like a little bit of indecision here from him. He's dancing back and forth.
Yeah, I think he wants to do the red spot now with Ensnare. It's pretty easy to take for the Orc, since the Ogre Lord doesn't do that much damage if you ensnare him far away from his friends. Item drop for the Undead was the Scroll of the Beast. Can be good, because you usually don't have that many walkers and you have to dispel the frost armor, but of course if there's the Scroll of the Beast on the battlefield then you will dispel it further. So you can trigger a dispel with it, or you can sell it to get a heal scroll or an invul potion or whatever. As a third hero we once again have the Pit Lord, and as we are concerned he has a 100% win streak at the moment with the Pit Lord. So this should be scary.
Ancient Django of Endurance, by the way, for ZDR, also finding level 3 right here on the SH. This is a big deal. Of course, the Blade Master needs an invul. I hope he's not going to fall to the same again. This is, I think, what separates 120 especially hard from players like Czechi. The hero kill priority. The way he prioritizes going for the heroes. When you see players like Czechi play, they go for the walkers, for the grunts, for the raiders, and then they go for the heroes, not 120. If he sees the Blade Master out of position, you can bet your ass he's going to eat a Colnova.
Indeed. So, Lich has the big invul now, so there is some escape mechanism or safety mechanism for him. Blade Master's coming in, stealing Magpie, trying to get the Watch Award and the item here, of course. No Tome of Experience, but immediate level 2 on the Pit Lord. He has Howl of Terror, and he used all the mana to get this kill saved. Ring of Regeneration for the Undead will be sold, I guess. We have the Wand of Mana Stealing, and he keeps that. And especially with having the big mana potion on the Shadowhunter, I think that's a great choice.
Yeah, of course. Every bit of mana that you can get on the DK is nice, but still, he has found Scroll the Beast, Wand of Mastery, and a Ring of Regeneration. So those are 3 not that great items. Now he's being creepjacked, kind of. The Ogre is going to retreat in a second. ZDR, is he going to take this fight? Yes, he is.
Immediate Coil Nova on the Walker, getting the focus on the Fiend here as well to counter that. And Snare on the Pit Lord, but Hull of Terror has been used, so damage is a lot lower now. 2 Destroyers in the air. Do they have mana? Yes, he does. And the Grunts are falling left, right, and center. Level 3 on the Lich, so there is Coil Nova level 2 on both sides. Nice burrow here. There's a Kodo Beast. Can he eat something? You think he's too far away, but of course there's a damage aura from that Kodo Beast. 10% on everything. Grunts are all dead. 2 Fiends still on the battlefield. 2 are regenerating in the ground, going for the statue here and killing one more Grunt with that call. Oh, nice heal wave by ZDR. But the Blade Master is surrounded up there. The Blade Master is surrounded without any mana. There is mana now. Well, no, he didn't use the Wand of Mana Stealing. Did he use 2? Yeah, he did use both of the charges already, so that would have been a great move to use that Wand of Mana Stealing for. But he triggered the Invo Potion, and that was definitely worth it. Now he has all the time in the world to get the red spot.
Alright, first fight goes in favor of the Undead, and to boost after that, he gets the Warsong Battle Drums and a Tome of Experience. Very nice, of course, for him. I imagine we're going to have Death Pact. No, we don't. That is always a danger. He's going for the Aura level 2 right here. But that fight, I'm sorry, I have to continue criticizing him. Look at the Berserker, by the way. That's another point of criticism. That's not supposed to happen. In that fight, he didn't have Dust of Appearance. No Dust of Appearance for the Fiends. Sometimes you don't get the dust because your inventory is full, but he had more than enough space. And after taking the red camp in the bottom left, he also was right next to the shop. He could have easily gotten the dust. Yeah. Furthermore, the Walkers totally out of position in the start of the fight. Coil Nova, I think, hit both of them, the Nova at least, and the Walkers die right away. After that, the Howl comes in. There's no more damage mitigation, and then there's almost no way you win that fight. So again, ZDR not playing to his fullest potential.
Indeed. Sobi Mask for the Undead, of course, an amazing item for the Orc. We see Boots of Quel'Thalas, so 6 damage and more attack speed on the Blade Master. He's getting kind of scary with plus 16, but he has to be so careful. Speed Scroll being used immediately to get out of there. Is there a town portal for him? I don't think so. So he has to run away here. ZDR, again 120, securing this spot for him. The hero levels are great. 4, 3, 3 on the heroes. On the other side, we have 4 and 3 for the Orc. So the levels are good. The inventory is also kind of okay. 2 Gloves of Haste on the Blade Master. Incredible attack speed. And this time he gets the dust, but he lacks potions and scrolls.
Yeah, he doesn't have invulns. He needs 2 invulns, man. He needs on the SH and on the Blade Master. And I imagine now 120 saying, oh, there's still invulns in your shop. Thank you very much. I'm going to take those from you. Because the Pit Lord could definitely use one. And actually the DK as well without him having Death Pact. And yeah, he gets it on the Pit Lord right here. And I think 120 going into upkeep right now. Yup, 61 for him. But also the Orc up at quite a bit already, getting Wyvern now. A nice surprise factor. The likelihood of there being web isn't too high. But the unit in itself is not that strong. Here comes the Creepjack though.
And he still does not have a town portal, if I saw that correctly. No, he's kind of trapped there. So big opportunity for 120. Nova is catching a Headhunter, but he's going for the statue right away. And that works pretty damn well. Reveal being used on everything here. And ZDR is securing his spot. He's doing great. He's chasing 120 a bit further back, so he gets a better position. But the Raiders are dying now. Kodo comes in to eat, but gets nuked right away. But there still is another one. But the Destroyers are taking care. Bad position for the Kodo. Will he continue? And the Blade Master's dying again, just like on Aquilds. And where is the damage now?
Yeah, he didn't use the potion. He didn't have an invul. ZDR, I don't know what the fuck you're doing this series, but it's not very good. Level 4 now for the Pit Lord, and I guess that's it. You really do need the Blade Master if you want to win this series. And ZDR, you have to pay more attention if you want to win against 120, man.
3 names in Yinchuan. Lin, Lawliot, 120. 1 Orc, 1 Night Elf, 1 Undead, no human. Who would have expected this at the start of this qualifier season number 1 for the WCA? The youngest player in all of the qualifiers, in all of Warcraft scene, is doing it. He's securing once again his title as the best Undead in the world, and ZDR who brought us so much joy in the online qualifier, heavily struggled here offline.
Poor ZDR, man.
Oh,
like he was.
There is a third game.
I guess Chad was trolling us. Is it NetEase TV already?
No, but it's on stream. It's Twisted.
Okay. Well, Twisted is the best orc map by far, so maybe there he can make it work. But the way he's been playing so far, I don't think he can. Like, he's playing so much worse than 120.
I don't see him win this either, but there's a lot of opportunities for great items on Twisted Meadows. So maybe even with a Staff of Silence or something, that can work. You can have a plus 20, 30 Blade Master to change things. But he lost his BM twice, and that's what broke his back both games. So get your potions, dude.
Yeah. And also, get a dust. And use Spirit Link. And don't send in your walkers into the front. There's a few things he has to improve upon. But the good thing here is, Twisted Meadows, it's hard for the Undead to level, really hard here, harder than anywhere else. And he did a pretty decent job on Turtle Rock of keeping the Undead low in hero levels. In the end, it wasn't enough, but he showed that he has some harassment capabilities.
We've been talking about championship material before, when we talked 3 hours ago, when we discussed the qualifier so far. Do you feel that 120 has begun to establish some kind of aura to himself, that he seems to be unbeatable except for maybe the great ones like Fly and Infi?
I think 120 still relies on his micro, and I think that is not enough in and of itself against human. In the GCS, in the last installment we had in winter, he lost to Infi in the grand final, and it just seemed like he didn't have the perfect answers of what to do. And if you don't have the perfect answers, you can have the best micro against human. It's probably not going to be enough.
True. But I feel this little fella has made an epic ride in the past 2 years, man. We saw him the first time at WCA 2014. We were like, oh, who's this Terra guy? I haven't heard of him. Like, he didn't do great in that tournament, but since then he's just ascending to the top in a speed unlike anything I've seen before. Maybe not even comparable to Law Light. I think Law Light ascendance to the top was a little slower, and due to the fact that he's so great against human with his Warden. But 120 is some kind of a different caliber, man. It's incredible.
Yeah, I am also super impressed with that guy. By the way, I mean, I don't want to spoil the fun or anything, but we have been hearing rumors that 120 is also trying to become a Hearthstone professional, which would of course be a shame. He is probably the biggest talent we've had in this game for such a long time, so I hope very much so that he's going to stay true to the game for as long as possible. And yeah, he's on a good way. I mean, if he wins a few more tournaments, if he makes more money from Warcraft, maybe he is going to stay true to it longer, and he's very, very close to more than the $7,000 in prize money for first place. He's leading 2-0 here in the grand final of the WCA Chinese Qualifier number 1, and so far, he's been outplaying his opponent on every turn.
Indeed. Before we forget and before we go into the details of Twisted Meadows, we have a new donation, €6 by Dur 1010. He says, hey guys, we haven't seen any Warcraft today, but we all know it's not your fault. You guys are just enjoyable to watch anyway. I spent a beer. Cheers. Keep on. We will do that. Thank you very much for the support. Very much appreciated. And I think our mood is back to being great again, since we have some Warcraft to cast. That's always a boost for the mood. So, Twisted Meadows in the upper left, 120 leading 2-0. In the upper right, we have ZDR, who has to fight uphill. And it's gonna be hard for him, but TM is a good map for him.
Yeah, and of course, because this is Twisted Meadows, this is where the early game changes around. I talk about this quite a bit. Usually, Undead in this matchup tries to creep as much as he can, or tries to keep the Undead from creeping as much as he can. Right here, It's exactly the opposite, because we have the early DK, we have the late Fiends, so the Undead can't really creep too easily. So the Orc, without there being any major creep camps to punish, he's trying to creep up himself. So now, usually it's 120's time to start harassing. He scouts the Blade Master right now with the Skeleton, but should be too far away to jack this.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see what item he gets here from the Overseer. Claws, of course, would be great. Maybe for him the Circle would be even better. He gets the Claw, so great damage.
Even though 120 couldn't really steal anything here, the Skeleton scared him so much he invested 2 Windwalks into that Overseer. And now he only has 1 Windwalk remaining, a second one in a little while, and now he's using the Skeletons only for the nulls. This is a known move though, and yeah, ZDR seems to be anticipating this. Yes, he is. He's not going to be given the free XP, but look at this! The DK already almost level 2, but is he going to be dying here? No. Again, the last Windwalk.
Yep, he gets some kills on Turtle Rock. 120 was able to micro them away this time. It is level 2 for the Blade Master. Critical Strike therefore available. We have some scouts everywhere on the map, so he knows exactly what's going on. That is not too much except of the tech. Halfway through, another Grunt is coming. Third Burrow is coming on the other side. We have the tier 2 tech as well, but this time doesn't look too good for 120. He lost a lot of hit points on his first hero, down to 50%, and we all know for undeads it's so hard if that happens because you don't have healing at tier 1.
And I think, I'm not sure, but it looks like 120 made a macro mistake here. His second Ziggurat was super late, so his second Fiend isn't even out yet. So that's gonna slow down his creeping potentially. Probably the Blade Master is gonna look to get to level 3. He gets the last hit on the null, doesn't give it up to the Skeleton. But yeah, 120 keeps on getting intel on his opponent, knows that it's safe to creep this down here. He gets level 2 finally. He would love to get the nulls as well next to his main, and usually this should be ZDR's turn to prevent this. Oh no, he took them away already. Alright, so this is cool. ZDR crept them already, the nulls right here, and now is gonna go for the gold mine. But again, man, ZDR being way more passive than some other orcs are. He seems to be very, very respectful of this young undead player.
Yeah, if you see Fly play, his Blade Master is always around the corner of the undead. He knows where he creeps, he wants to punish it, he wants to steal everything, he wants to deny the experience on the Death Knight. ZDR has a complete different approach, and I don't see it working that great so far. He's once again close of losing a unit here. One more hit, maybe? Oh no, the damage roll is not high enough. He's so lucky. He is very lucky that he didn't lose this grunt. This was just pure RNGesus that helped him. Went of mana stealing again for 120, got rid of the big rock golem and got himself a Shadow Priest. This is of course a nice way to heal up your units. He's at tier 2, going for tier 3. Lich is almost out. He's just waiting for the slaughterhouse. There it is.
That was a very ambitious creep camp. He took that with only 2 Fiends. Well, he only took the Rock Golem. The rest is still standing. But he was confident to take this because, again, the Skeleton scouting everywhere. He saw the Blade Masters creeping this up there. And, of course, he knows you can never, ever take this camp with only 2 Grunts. Your Blade Master has to be there. But now, Blade Master is level 3. Found, by the way, the Pendant of Energy. And the Milk Cow second is gonna love that.
Indeed. A lot of storms. We will have River Dance, the orcish version, later on here on Twisted Meadows. So now that we have a Tauren Chieftain, do you think 120 is going for the Dark Ranger third?
100%. TC, when he gets to level 3, without a Dark Ranger, without the silence, it's almost impossible to win that fight. If he gets to level 5, it's even worse. But yeah, you need the silence desperately against the TC.
Okay, so this was the case against Fly as well. Whenever he had to change to the Dark Ranger, he lost the map. Maybe this story continues. Blade Master is stealing the Shadow Priest, so the healing is gone. Level 3 on the first hero, level 2 on the cow already, because he's not splitting the experience here. He doesn't have to. On the other side, level 2 on the Death Knight, only level 1 on the Lich, so can out-level so far.
Again, look at the confidence from 120. He's not level 3 on the DK. He has only 3 Fiends, no statues, and he knows that there could be Spirit Link and Ensnare. And he's creeping his opponent's Merchant. Like, the balls on that guy, it's incredible. Now the TC is coming in. I think 120 is going to have to TP if he wants to keep his units alive. Yeah, he does so. Is he gonna be able to, though? Oh, so close. Last second, loses the Fiend again. Third map, third time the Fiend died in the TP.
This happened like 3 times already.
I just said that.
Oh, sorry. On Echo Al's TR, now on TM. But it seems like this is not that bad. This seems to be his game plan. I mean, he has to go back anyway for the orb. So this might be calculated.
Yeah, many units do it that way. They try to creep up outside of the map, and they know if they get found before tier 3, they have to TP out. They can't win the fight. But of course, losing the Fiend isn't ideal. But yeah, it's a calculated risk. If you get away with it, it's great. If you lose the TP, yeah, well, you lose the TP. But if you go for an all-in later, and you get a good trade, but in the end you have to TP out to save your hero, but don't have that TP anymore, that can be a big, big problem.
Blade Master is around the corner waiting for the Rock Golem. And oh my god, the Lich catches the backstab, catches the critical strike. He's going for the Death Knight now, but Reveal has been used. And I think now with the Frost Armor, he can't do too much, but he's looking for the Granite for the Rock Golem here. He is kind of scared, getting some hits, nice timings by 120. This of course gives the rest of the army of his a great timing window to creep up to level 3 or even further. Reveal being used, and now he has to get away, I feel.
Oh god, he got it. He got the last hit, but the item went towards the undead, which was the...
Lionhorn.
Lionhorn, exactly. Not that great. By the way, interesting change up by 120. Ah, damn, he's changing it now again. But he only had 3 Fiends before, and I thought he was maybe going to stay on 3 Fiends, because this matchup, this exact matchup, I think we saw before. Twisted Meadows, these two players playing against each other. It was a crazy-ass game with a level 5 TC in the end, and level 3 Stomp is just nutso. And the way he handled it was, well, just don't get ground anymore. Just get Mass Destroyers. And I thought maybe this time he was going to go into Mass Destroyers right away. But it seems like he's going to go for a few more Fiends. But, well, he only has 4. That's not that many. It seems like he has identified, alright, Stomp is really good, I guess I just don't get that many ground units.
Yeah. I'd agree. We have great items for both players. Row of the Magi for the Lich has, of course, 6 more damage and more mana points. On the other side, Claws plus 9 on the TC will be swapped later. So we have plus 20 Blade Master without the Kodo Beast with if he has the Orb. See them here lying on the ground. Blade Master is crazy strong, plus 23 already. Thanks to the Kodo.
Sorry to interrupt you here, but he only has a single walker. I think that's a huge weakness. Like, get rid of the walker, then dispel the Spirit Link, then deal with the heroes. You don't even have to kill the heroes. Just get them low so that can't get into the fight, and then the rest of the army is easily dealt with. But now, 120, I mean ZDR is going for the main of the undead, unusual move, and that's not even an expansion, but it seems like there's going to be one soon as peons are walking down there, and yeah, it's going to be the Pocket Expo with a distraction.
There we see it with the peons. There's the Blade Master with the Pocket Expo. He stole the town portal once again, or forced the town portal, 350 gold out of 120's pocket if he wants to get another one, and I think he has to. Selling the Spell Shield, which would be amazing versus Human, for example, or Night Elf, but not versus Orc if you encounter a Tauren Chieftain and not a Shadow Hunter. Pocket Expo is finished, and yeah, this has to be scouted by 120, obviously. Or does he know about this?
It's also a pretty obvious tell, the way the Orc attacks the main, then runs out. It's like the first thing you expect, I feel.
Yeah. No level 3 on the Lich. This is a weakness for him. Blade Master is running around, getting the Obsidian Statue, but scaring him away here, so nothing fancy happens. Skeletons are scouting this now, so he has the confirmation on things. Circle of Nobility for the Death Knight, maybe the Lich even, and that is level... No, not level 3. He needs another creep spot for that.
No invols on 120's heroes. Seems a little bit dangerous. By the way, Blade Master, very glass cannony. He has no boots of speed. He has no invul. That has to be changed. No boots of speed, I can say, alright, maybe. But no invul, I think, is a giant mistake, as we saw before on the maps prior.
But he has a healing potion now, at least. But I have the feeling that he has to use it soon. Here comes 120, trying to seal the deal of this qualifier, trying to end this qualifier, and securing his ticket to Yinchuan in December of 2016. ZDR has to hold this expansion. It was a huge investment. Almost 700 gold go into this building, or into this building that was an item before. Here comes the army. The Torrent Chieftain is very, very close to being level 5. He did some great creeping. Okay, level 4.3. The Blade Master's not level 4 though. ZDR with a Wyvern again. 3 destroyers high up in the air.
Alright, here comes the fight first. Nova TC walking in, not silenced just yet. Here comes the silence, but he missed the silence! Very, very rare mistake. We're not used to seeing from 120. Destroyers being called, being healed up for the time being. Grunts being killed as well, but the Blade Master is just having free reign over this fight. That one silence that didn't hit had a huge repercussions. It seems like ZDR might be winning his first fight of the series.
Now we have level 4 on the Blade Master. Now we have crazy critical strikes. He's going for the destroyers over and over and over again. Nova hitting the Raiders. Maybe 120 is able to stabilize. There is another potion of Coil Nova, I feel. Yes, there is. He's getting rid of one Raider after another, but he's losing so much. Next statue is down. Will we see the Storm? Nice split by 120 here. There's no perfect position for it anymore except this one. Level 3, and he taps out, and ZDR is getting his first map win of today.
Alright, so he can do it. He is not absolutely lost. Of course, we have to remember this is the best map for the Orc. It took the Undead forever to get to level 3. It's also one of the rare maps where getting a TC is a safer choice, because you can reliably get him to level 3, where the Undead is struggling to apply a lot of pressure. And it seems like that is the Achilles heel of 120 in this matchup, doesn't it? The TC is his struggle. The Shadowhunter he defeats easily, but the Torrent Chieftain, that's his weakness.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And once again, this is so... I mean, you should think that he learned from the game against Fly, where this was the exact same thing. If there's a TC, he loses. If there's a Shadowhunter, he wins. I don't know how to counter this then. He started to spread the units already, which was a nice move, but then he moved them together, and ZDR cuts like a knife through that group of units. It was pretty well executed there by the Orcs. So maybe he gets some confidence out of this now. Maybe he sees, alright, this was the start for me. This is time to catch up now.
But I think the way this fight transpired, it's the first time I see ZDR 120 making glaring micro mistakes. Of course, the obvious one to point out is the missed silence. That's not supposed to happen. That cannot happen. But it's more than just that. He focused the Raiders. Of course, Ensnare are a problem. We all know that. But in this battle, there was a single Walker. And of course, no healing from an SH. I think you should have committed to getting the Walker right away and then go for the heroes. But maybe he has a bit of a mental block himself, you know? Maybe he thinks, crap, man, you got a level 4 TC. This game's over already. What am I supposed to do? I mean, he has defeated a high-level TC before. But the way he fought that fight seemed not like the first two maps, in any case.
Yeah, true. I don't know the next map because my stream is not working at the moment. There seems to be network issues, at least to a degree, since the backup stream is not working either. So I hope they get the Netty stream to work. Yeah, there it is. It is Amazonia. Did I see that correctly?
Yep.
Okay.
Very hard TC map. Very hard to get level 3. But it is possible to keep the Undead way down, and that can open up opportunities for a TC of your own, even if the map might not be the greatest.
We have a change in colors, but we're gonna fix this real quick. 120 is doing the pro gamers move of changing the color after being defeated. That's what they always do, if it's not banned, I guess. So, map number 4 in this series. Is this the comeback, the start of the comeback of ZDR? Or will 120 finally get his ticket that we thought he already had, because the admins were incapable of telling us if this is a best of 3 or a best of 5? Thank you for that again.
Lutz.
And yeah, he is of course here spawning in the bottom left, 120 in teal this time.
And he's going for the early DK once more, not going for the Fiend Builder. This is fairly similar to Twisted Meadows. The Orc has a very easy time knowing where you are. interrupting your creeping, possibly killing fiends, getting rid of your mana. And that's why oftentimes the undeads go for the early DK here. But with this being Amazonia, there's quite a few creep camps that you can take, try to evade your opponent. But I don't think it's as good as Twisted Meadows. There's not like all these nulls everywhere that you can easily get. The shop, little, what's it called, the trapper. So, yeah, let's see. I mean, the thing that I'm thinking about right now is SH means he loses, TC means he might win. But that's, of course, an easy statement to make right now.
Yeah, I think it's pretty hard for ZDR here as well, because on Twisted we saw a super pimp Blade Master with plus 20 damage and stuff, lots of claws, whatever, and of course the opportunity to expand and create a timing for him, create space for him to creep up. This will most likely not happen on Amazonia. It's very hard to creep this spot. You don't have militia support, you don't have the Engine of War support. Of course you have grunts who are who have a good sustainability, but you can do it with a pocket expansion later, but I think you need the resources for the army, otherwise the undead is going to punish you for that. So,
and also the thing is, of course, the TC, if you choose to go for him, you want level 3 desperately. And the good thing about Twisted Meadows is it doesn't only have many creep camps where you can reliably get high heroes, it's also really big. It's really freaking big. So if the undead scouts you, it's no way that it's certain that he's going to be there in time to creep jack you. Amazonia is, I think, the smallest map we have. Pretty sure it's the smallest map we have. So getting information on your opponent and creepjacking him is way easier here than it is on any other map pretty much. So that is why TC might be dangerous, unless he creates a lot of space early on. But again, ZDR, being fairly passive in the early game, might be going for his level 3 first before he goes for any pressure.
Yeah, looks like it. He has the reju potion, so he gets back up to full HP sooner than later. 120 is using his Narup tower in the main base to help him creep to get the full experience here to fasten things up a bit. He has level 2 now with the Unholy Aura, and he went for the shop already, getting rid of the Sasquatch that gave him the reju potion as well, and that's a nice item for an undead early game.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, lacking the regeneration. And again, we can see the skeletons walking around, scouting, was trying to see if there was something at the Merc camp down there, but not the case. And again, look at how greedy 120 is. He's creeping stuff with only 2 fiends, but the main base is open. Massive mistake. This is not when you're supposed to start making mistakes. This main base should never ever be open, but a building placement error killed the first Acolyte. This might result in more deaths because the Blade Master a lot of mana.
Indeed, but on the other side he has to be careful not to lose a grunt. Can he block something? He's trying to do so, and he does it. Good execution by ZDR. Maybe that was the can opener for him, this first win on Twisted Meadows. He's performing way better, capitalizing on the mistakes that 120 is doing all of a sudden. The Blade Master has still 3 more wind walks. Only a bit of HP left, but there's not too much damage coming out of this. I don't think the Fiends can get him down, and he will get another Acolyte here. The second one with the luck of the critical strike, and he's 120 is still intact. So he can't get the Acolytes back at the moment.
Oh my god, is he gonna lose the Blade Master to Negligence again? No, he's not. By the way, nicely blocking the Grunt, so even though the coil was invested, a second coil would have killed him, but the 2 Grunts actually blocking the DK away. That's really well done. So finally, ZDR showing some nice micro. Might be losing the Grunt in the end, but that's a trade you're absolutely willing to take. He might possibly be able to block the DK in here. He doesn't want to take the risk. 120 runs away, Grunt survives. ZDR having a spectacular early game.
Indeed, that's just compare. Oh, he has to be careful with his Blade Master though, but it's only a level 1 coil, so he doesn't have to be afraid. Let's compare the gold mines here. The Acolytes are still not back, only the 4th one. 9,500 in the gold mine remaining. For ZDR, it's 8,900. 600 gold advantage. And you need the tier 3, you need the Slaughterhouse, you need the Lich as fast as possible. How's 120?
And by the way, of course, also you have to spend 150 gold on the Acolyte, so that comes on top. And you give up experience, you didn't get any kills in return. And this is why this TC is going to come through. He's going for the TC again, and he most certainly created some space here in this early game. But still, with the Lich, with the Frost Armor, the Undead is gonna be fairly fearsome. Who gets the last hit? Oh, that was so huge! That was a massive last hit. That would have been the level 3 for the DK, or at least very, very close. And now we might be losing a Fiend as well. Oh my god.
The coil was not on cooldown, he had the mana, he was just too greedy as it seems. Went of Illusion for the Blade Master, oh boy. Not looking good for the Undead. Will we see the grudge match? We have the Torrent Chieftain on its way to level 3, but the Death Knight is scouting this. Can he get some last hits with Frostmourne? He's once again not coiling anything. Illusion. Okay, now the Frostmourne. Oh, he guts it with a skeleton here, denying the healing on the Torrent Chieftain. But he's kind of surrounded with the illusion here, so taking a few hits. In the meantime, the Blade Master's going ham on the Fiends again. This time the coil connects in time.
And we saw 120 being very confident in his movement throughout this entire series, and I think it might be starting to turn into overconfidence. Now Lich, though, coming in with the Frost Armor, saving the first feed, getting maybe the surround here. This could be another turnaround, but he uses the Scroll of the Speed and gets out of there. So I guess in the end, situation salvaged. But still, he lost, what was it, 2 Fiends in total? No, only 1, right?
Yeah, but some creeps on top of things. Not that great of an early game for 120. It's absolutely horrible, actually. And now he has to take some risks. Now he has to
again being so greedy, man. Like,
Indeed.
Greedy or confident, whatever you want to call it, man. He just doesn't give a crap.
He's going for the Renegade. Will this pay off with an item that he likes? Sobi Mask, amazing. And almost control over the mercenary camp, but there's still that remaining. He's only going for the item carrying creep here, not going for the full experience, and that's weird because he's 10 XP away from level 3. He's getting it here.
He wants to get all the items. If
Blade
he gets
Master.
another mantle here, that would be very strong.
Blade Master's going for the Acolytes again. Once again, great timing by ZDR. He is in tech 120, and he's losing another Acolyte. His mining is denied again, and he's getting the second Acolyte because the Death Knight is so far away.
Oh man. And the TC, because of all that has transpired, has all the time he wants. And it seems like 120 feels he has to all in, or at least get some damage done.
Zapper and Speed Scroll for the Orc. He's going into the Ziggurats, and he's exploding it and detonates them both. 120 on top of all things, also supply stuck now.
My god.
This game is completely spiraling out of control for 120. This is an absolute disaster.
But it's pretty much all his fault. He didn't close off his base. And now I would not be surprised if he GG's out here. If this was Czechy, he would have been long gone. But he's still hanging in there. He's gonna lose the 4th Fiend in the 4th TP in the 4th game. Yes, he is.
And he only got 1 of the burrows. So ZDR is supply stuck as well, though. He did a nice move here somewhen. I don't really know what happened and why he's supply stuck that bad.
He got 2 burrows, actually.
Ah, okay, he got 2 burrows, alright. So that makes sense. So maybe this is buying some time, but he has to reproduce his Ziggurats as well. He can produce units now because his army is so low, but only now he can start it. Only now he can get the Acolytes back.
Bro, there is no Spirit Lodge.
Huh.
That is the one way I feel that ZDR throws this game away. Spirit Link is absolutely crucial when you have no healing as an Orc player. Maybe he's gonna go for the SH 3rd and he thinks that's gonna be enough, but he's only gonna have level 1 heal wave for a long time. Because again, Amazonia, not that many creeps.
But on the other side, he is very, very close to a level 4 Blade Master. There is no Silence yet, there is no Pit Lord yet. The damage is good on the BM once again. 2 Circlets and Boots this time, and the Orb of a Lightning. On the other side, the Torrent Chieftain has a Sobi Mask, is level 3. He has the level 2 Stomp that he so desires. He's getting the Invul Potion. Maybe he doesn't even need the healing, because the burst damage of the Undead is not that great. He will need the coil to keep his Fiends alive, and the Nova's only level 1.
No. That's knowing 120, he is gonna go for the heroes. Seriously, I'm pretty disappointed with the ZDR right now. He had such an amazing game. Is he actually gonna throw this away with no sustain and no damage mitigation? trying to get the Lich up to level 3. He's getting the Dark Ranger right now as well. Tome actually being stolen. I imagine he's going to steal the Invul right here. He definitely needs it.
Yes,
and
he
gets
does. And the big healing potion on top of things. For the undead, we only have the Wind of Mana stealing for the second time in this best of 5. But maybe he can do something good with it, get another coil. But the Blade Master, once again, the stealing Magpie is hanging around, trying to get the steal, and he gets it. But of course, this is not the most important thing. The big one is the Granite Golem with the... Oh, he has to reveal him here somehow. Yeah, there
120 has to know a creep jack is coming. He has to reposition, but he wants it. He's so greedy. He wants the Granite Golem. He's trying to reposition. He's trying to also get the Blade Master, and he loses the Granite Golem last hit, but gets the item, which is only, however, the Legion Doomhorn. Now the Orc is coming in. Speed Scroll, Silence, doesn't care, because Invulnerability Potion. Coil keeps the Fiend alive. Nothing is coming from the main. No ghouls or anything. There's no Destroyers here, because the statues have all been ensnared. Now he could morph the Destroyer, but is it worth it? That's the question. Going for the Raiders again. I don't agree with this choice. Now going for the TC. Remember, he has no more invul. It's really dangerous for him to get back in again.
He has one invul on the Blade Master though, and that's a good thing for him. Second Raider is dead, and 120 is... No, it's not dead. Now he is. And finally he's getting some experience, but at the same time, 2 Fiends dead, level 4 on the TC. It all smells like a grudge match, but maybe he can get a hero kill here. Silence on the Tauren Chieftain, so no Stomp. So 120 survives at least. This could have been a lot worse.
And it's not over. He's trying to go for the grunt kills here. Getting any free pickoffs, of course, is nice. Getting the grunt right here. And we have a pause in an intense situation.
Again, this pause. Maybe something is really wrong with the setup there on stage. I mean, technical difficulties we can only imagine, but he's unpausing here. Blade Master level 4.6 plus 9 damage without a Kodo. Tauren Chieftain level 4 with a Sobi Mask. Headhunters are coming. Still no Lodge. Only Raiders, Kodos, and Headhunters for him on the other side. Not level 3 on the Lich. He's getting the Death Knight away to get the experience only on the second hero. Okay, and the third hero. He's sharing that. And now he moves the Death Knight back in. I don't really understand that move. But once again, let's compare the gold mines. 5,600 for the undead, 4,200, 1,400 gold advantage thanks to 3 little harasses with a Blade Master.
Oh, now the undead might be running into a fight again, but this time he's low on mana, especially on the Lich. Blade Master sees this coming first, going for the statue right away. Last time we had no destroyers. Of course, there was no Spirit Link. Speed Scroll, though, coming in and coming in hot. The TC looking for the stomp. Here comes the silence. He doesn't want to use the invul just yet. He retreats back out of the fight. Ghoul in the fight right here as well, going for the Raiders once more, using the coil even. He's not focusing on the heroes at all here, despite, again, there no being healing. Of course, Stomp rattling through the heroes. The Dark Ranger might be falling. Coil, holy crap, in the last second, but it's not going to be enough. The surround is closed, it sticks, and it gets the kill. Only 3 fiends here on the battlefield. Dies to the backstab before the coil arises. Now the DK in all sorts of trouble. He has the invul, has to use it right now, right here. If he wants to survive, does so, but the units seem to be falling one after the other. The Blade Master now, though, might be in trouble. Invul, finally he uses it. So this time he doesn't lose the first hero and gets the DK in return with a critical strike. And that is the equalizer.
Ending the game in style with a crit. And oh boy. We thought 120 had it already. And all of a sudden we have game 5. ZDR started his comeback. Amazing performance on Amazonia here. But was it really that great of ZDR, or was it just a slump from 120 here? Because I feel not closing your base doesn't happen usually. Micro mistakes like that we have seen on Twisted and now on Amazonia as well that we haven't discovered on the first 2 maps here. Is he getting unsecure? Is he falling down a bit?
Maybe he is showing his nerves. He is... Well, of course, the base not closing that one is a giant mistake that can never happen. But whatever. I guess it happens once in every 1,000 games. Unlucky that it happens this time. But I think the more important thing here is game 1 and 2, he was really determined towards the hero focus. And that was a game with Spirit Link and with the Shadow Hunter. Why doesn't he do it anymore? On Twisted Meadows, we saw him focusing the Raiders, and right here we saw him focusing the Raiders again, when there's not even Spirit Link. On Twisted Meadows, there was still Spirit Link. On Amazonia, there wasn't even Spirit Link. And he doesn't go for the heroes. I don't get it. I mean, he might have a good reason, maybe, but I saw him playing against TC before and going for hero focus, and that looked way more convincing.
True that. But why didn't he go for Destroyers, by the way?
I think he felt that they didn't add much value. Of course, there was no, Spirit Link to dispel. They still deal decent damage against grunts, but they are 300 gold, 5 supply, that maybe you don't want to invest.
Maybe he just couldn't afford it. But
I think statues are a big liability against Orc, because they always get ensnared and they always get focused, and you can't coil them. So even if the destroyers aren't that powerful as they are against Spirit Link, I think they might still be better than statues.
I would agree, especially to get rid of Kodo Beasts, to get, I don't know, some damage out against the grunts, who are doing great damage against heroes. And there was hero focus, definitely. Stomp, backstab, crit combination worked pretty well for ZDR here. So I don't know, I'm trying to open the Chinese stream, but I got a gateway timeout here. That's really rare, but we have game 5. Have you seen the map already?
Nope.
Okay. It is Ancient Isles.
Alright. It's gonna most likely be DK first again, and once more, it's a tough TC map. Lots of poison creeps here, healing wave, very useful. It's a small map, you can get creep jacked, and I hope this time 120 knows how to close his base.
We'll see about that. Deciding match in this grand final. The qualifier started in early March. We have seen amazing games. We have seen amazing upsets. TH ending 4th in his group. ZDR eliminating Infi, the reigning Chinese champion before that, and the Gold Championship Series winner of January. And now this ride will end on Ancient Isles. In the upper left, the shining star of this tournament, who brought us so much joy with his win over Infi and Yumiko. We said, is he only great against human? At first, it looked like it. But now, he has his confidence. He has its confidence, and you are laughing at something.
Yeah. Right now, the 100 days is not closed, and I'm not sure, but it might be impossible to close it now, because the space between the shop and the haunted gold mine might not be enough for Ziggurat. But I'm not sure. I am not entirely sure. If that is the case, though, if he can't close it again, I think 120 is showing massive nerves. But no, okay, he can't close it. All right. False alarm. False alarm.
All right. So it is the Death Knight, of course. This time it's not an early DK, but it's an early Fiend build order. On the other side, what else would we see but Blade Master and Grunts? He's starting his creeping now. Then we'll go to the shop, get the boots, sell the town portal, get the circlet, all the usual stuff we're gonna see. But ZDR was shining on a big map. ZDR was shining on a small map. So that doesn't really count. But is he forced into a Shadow Hunter here on this map?
Depends on the early game, I would say. If the DK gets level 3 easily and is on top of his scouting and harassment, you're gonna have a really tough time with the TC second, leveling him up. But if you can keep the DK low, if you can strike some fear into his heart, maybe you can get the space, but usually it definitely is the Shadow Hunter.
I'd agree, and then things look a little more promising for 120 if you can go for the Pit Lord again. Blade Master will be level 2 after this. Town Portal, as I mentioned, is sold. No creepjack opportunities for the Undead since he wants to get his level 2 as fast as possible as well. Using the Coil, Ring of Protection, worst item will sell it. And yeah, this is basically the same creep that he did on, what was it, Echo Owls at the shop. Using a lot of time to get rid of the units here, but highly rewarded with experience and with Watch Awards again.
Yeah, of course, amazing item, especially on small maps when one of these wards can cover so much area of the small map. Is gonna give the unit level 2 though here, by the looks of it. Probably gonna invest a coil. He has the dust as well though. But uses the coil. That's something I'm surprised about. He oftentimes has the dust, doesn't use it though, uses the coil instead. Blade Master now going towards the main, and by the way, the main base is open again. He can get to the Acolytes again. I think on the right of the graveyard you can pass through. But he's not gonna go for that. Going for that with only level 2 level 1 Windwalk is not that reliable.
So he's taking a risk here. He's playing a little more aggressive than on the games before. Stealing the Warlord can result in a great item, Health Stone, Mana Stone. Those are all amazing for him. And of course, stealing the experience, stealing the item. It is the Anchor of Reincarnation. Okay, he will not use it here. Most likely sell it. But if 120 catches him now, then he's in deep, deep trouble. But he's so far away. Still spending time to creep up to level 3. This time it's 120 who is super duper passive.
I had a fatal error here, so I have to reload into the game.
Alright. Level 2.6 on the Blade Master already. 2 circlets. He got them both. Once again, not going for the boots. And we have the Shadow Hunter. No Torrent Chieftain. Beastery and Lodge for the Orc. On the other side, I think the tech is still running. Yes, ZDR is not going into the main base. I think it is closed. It's just my opinion that he can't squeeze through the right of the graveyard there. But this will be level 3, and then he has level 2 Windwalk, which has a higher duration, and so this opens up the way for the Shadow Hunter to creep with the grunts, while the Blade Master is harassing, is creepjacking, and getting some info on his opponent. Ring of Protection for him as well, level 2 on the Windwalk we have, and now, and Shop Creep for 120 now. He will get level 3, and that is an early level 3, once again using the coil, but he was at full mana, so that's not really a big deal. Illu is a nice thing to have, you can scout with that, and yeah. This is actually a good early game for 120. He doesn't do any damage, but he didn't receive any damage as well. Fatal damage.
And again, he's overconfident. Why does he go out onto the map here before he has the Lich? He has to know that the SH is out. And yeah, he has to use the TP. Is he gonna lose the 5th Fiend in the 5th game in the 5th TP? No, finally he saves it.
Alright, I think he just wants to buy time or slow down the Shadowhunters leveling. That might be the thing why he's going out on the map. Even with
maybe, but with the SH, really you're just going to be forced into a TP every time. Maybe he thought there was going to be a TC. I think then it's a decent move. Maybe that was his reasoning. And in the end, I guess he only loses to TP. Can come to bite him in the ass, but can also not matter. So maybe a calculated risk again from him. But now DK, as I said before, I agree. He had a good early game. He is ahead in experience of the Blade Master, only slightly, but this is the first time. Usually when the Lich was out, the DK was always quite a bit away from level 3, but this time he's sitting pretty. With the Lich being here, he feels confident pretty much to take any fight. His tier 3 though this time I think is a little bit slower than it was beforehand, but that's of course again because he went for the 5 Fiends, not the 4 Fiends of before, so little adjustments here and there. And the Blade Master did not get touched by the dust, but doesn't get the last hit either. The Claws +9, of course, very nice for the Lich as well.
Indeed. Just imagine them being stolen. That would have been horrible. But yeah, 120, that's not a big risk that he does here. He was scouting with the illusions, sending one here, sending one here, and he knew exactly where the army of the Orc is. Of course, a Blade Master is always a threat, but with dust you can work around things, and if you have Frost Armor, then things get a little easier. Now, he's there to steal the item and the creep again. He has a free slot in the inventory, reveal being used, and there's a backstep. Can he secure the kill with the coil? Yes, he can! But once again, the Anchor of Reincarnation on the Blade Master, and he stole that one.
Is he gonna sell it again?
Yes.
I'm surprised. He had huge issues, map number 1 and 2, keeping his heroes alive. Of course, Ankh is a lot worse than the Health Stone, but still, in the end, it does keep your heroes alive.
Ring of Protection for the SH here. Blade Master's trying to do some damage, but he can't find anything. And this might be the first time in this deciding game where 120 is becoming really aggressive. Can he get something here?
I think this is only a distraction. He wants to force the Orc back. and then TP out. He has no mana on the DK. He can't take a fight. He has no statues, no destroyers, no third hero, no orb. He just wants the orc back here, then he's going to TP home, and then he's going to creep the bottom left of the map. I think that's the only way this makes sense. But he's going to lose a Fiend in return again, or is he?
Nope.
No, he's not.
This time it's all working in favor of him. The Orc Burrow has been cancelled, so once again, ZDR is supply stuck. This time, 120 isn't. No Zapper, no damage to the base, no nothing. Destroyer upgrade is coming, and the hero levels are looking okay. Will we see the go for the Tavern to get the Pit Lord for the third time? Securing the win for the first time, for the third time, question mark? We'll see about that. Blade Master once again, +9 damage with 2 circlets, and now the Orb of Lightning. He scouts it and goes for the statue. The Destroyer upgrade is not finished yet, so he can't morph it if he wants to. But it all goes well for the Undead.
This little move into the main makes a lot more sense with this go, because he was hoping to keep the SH from level 3 with this move, and so far successfully does do so. Problem with this is he has little mana on the DK and the Lich. Well, not full mana anyways. SH is shopping right now. He's hanging around the merchant. What's he getting? Dust of Appearance. That's something that he was heavily lacking on Turtle Rock. Of course, very important. But his army really is not that big so far. He has 2 walkers though. That is one very important ingredient.
Destroyer being morphed, yeah, will of course provide good Dispel and Spirit Link, but that will be dispelled as well. Blade Master's going for the Fiend, Peon support's coming in, 1 Raider microed away. We have the Kodo Beast on the battlefield, Howl of Terror, immediate focus on that Kodo, well done by 120. Level 3 on the Shadow Hunter immediately, nice heal wave, and ZDR kills another Fiend almost dead, but nice save here. Gets killed by the critical strike and everything. Howl of Terror once again hitting, Invo Potion on the Blade Master. This is a dicey situation for both of them actually. Losing another Raider level 4. Coil of the Fiend saving that one. Invo Potion is over. Is there another Nova? No, it's not.
Nicely waiting for the Blade Master focus until the SH had no more mana. Clarity is running right now. He has 1 more heal wave. Here comes the reveal, but the Blade Master nicely controlled off to the side. He's gone for the time being. I would love to see some Rods of Necromancy being transferred over. Doesn't do it now though. The Lich might be in trouble. There's only 1 single coil remaining, using it right now. But now also maybe the Blade Master in trouble. The Dispel on the Spirit Link. Spirit Link coming in again, however. Nicely blocking also with the Fiend. But not getting the kill in the end. And ZDR can hold. Still sitting fairly good at 37 supply. Now the Blade Master again, healing potion. Is he gonna survive this? There's more heal wave coming in again. The Lich also in trouble, but so is the Blade. Who's gonna die first? He needs 1 more orb shot. Is he getting it? Yes, he is. Lich, will he survive this? Only very, very closely clinging on to life, and falls not. Actually gets away with the help of the statue, and ZDR might just barely be losing this fight.
There is no damage dealing hero anymore for the Orc. The 120 is running for his life with his Lich. The Shadow Hunter has no mana anymore though. The Destroyer is taking great care of the Walker, killing that one off level 4 and 2. The Lich! What's he doing? He turns around, but Invis from the shop to secure his life, and there is Coil to save his second hero. He's wiping the floor now with the rest of the army. If he gets the Shadow Hunter, this game is definitely over. But of course, both players are sticking in there as long as they can. It's about $7,000. It's about the 1 slot to each one. And then it is 120. We thought he had done it after 2 maps, but he created some tension here in this final. This go, perfect execution, I guess. Saving that Lich, definitely move of the game, move of this final, I'd say even. And we have the first Undead in the grand final, 1-2-0.
That fight actually didn't start off well at all for 120. He lost, I think, 2 Fiends very quickly. The Peons were in position to surround so fast. The Walkers survived for a long time. He ignored the Blade Master in the beginning of the fight, but when the mana was low on the SH, that's when he goes for him. But man, making it close in the end. If the Lich dies and the Blade Master survives, that game is over and ZDR wins. But
this game was on a knife's edge, but it was the knife of the Blade Master.
You know what kind of won him the game? The clause +9. like if you want to go down that route, if everything had been the same, without the clause +9, the damage would not have been sufficient. But man, he had to ZDR made him work for that. The first 2 maps, easy stomps. Then Twisted Meadows, of course, the best orc map. He gets the comeback. And then on Amazonia, 120 falling apart pretty much. Like, compared to what we're used to seeing usually from him, that was catastrophic. And then last map, I don't think it was his best performance ever. But in the end, when it counts, the micro still is good, and he still gets it to work. But that was an all-in, man. He went in there without a TP scroll.
Yes. And he didn't have, like, big potions or scrolls or whatever. He just didn't want to waste the time for it. He knew, okay, the Shadowhunter is not at the best level. And the inventory for the Orcs also not that great. So there is a chance, and if I do good, I can make it happen. And saving that Lich was absolute gorgeous Warcraft, and in the end, it was deserved.
Alright, Lawlight has contacted me, and he says he's gonna be inviting us for the next game. Of course, that's what we're gonna be having next, the WCA APAC Qualifier Grand Final. So that's the Korean region, and that's of course gonna be Lawlight versus Lyn, the old legend versus the newcomer, the new, maybe, king of Korea, but is he going to be king for much longer? That's the question. We're going to be finding out in a little while.
Indeed. We're going to go into a small commercial break. We're online for 4 hours with 3 hours without a game, so kind of exhausting here. But of course, we will be here all day after the WCA APAC Qualifier. We will have Gold Championship Series. It is a replay cast. We know that. You might know the results, but we will cast it anyway. We will cast every single game of this beautiful tournament. So if you want to watch Warcraft, you're at the perfect spot for it right here at Back to Warcraft. As I mentioned, small break. We will be back in like 10 minutes.
Hey, I'm Scott.